And tonight on our Great American panel, he served 2 terms as the mayor of the liberal city of San Francisco. Willie Brown is here. She is a Republican congresswoman from the great state of Tennessee. Author of the book, by the way, Life Equity. Marsha Blackburn is with us. And also he led the Buffalo Bills to 4 consecutive Super Bowl appearances. Former NFL quarterback, Hall of Famer Jim Kelly is here. Guys, good to see you. Appreciate you all being here.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Man, I'm never shaking your hand again. My hand fell off.
It's just a regular handshake.
It's just a regular handshake. For a regular hand, it just is, you know, murder.
You're just a little guy. No.
Oh, thanks. I'm 6 feet tall. You're 7 feet tall. I don't know. All right, let's start with the stimulus bill. Mr. Mayor, good to see you.
Nice to see you, too.
All right, $30 million is going to your city, thanks to Nancy Pelosi. Now, by the way, Barack Obama says there's no earmarks, no pet projects in this bill, which I say is, well, I'll be charitable, dishonest. $30 million for wetlands restoration to help the endangered salt marsh harvest mouse. Help America out, Mayor. What is the salt marsh harvest mouse that needs $30 million of our tax dollars?
I think that's a cover for giving some people jobs, and that's
saving the mouse.
No, not the mouse. The hell with the mouse. What you want to do is you want somebody who's working to save the mouse. That person gets a salary out of the deal, and that's what this is about.
Yeah, so even though we're going to save a mouse. Now, do you want mice in your house? Do you want mice in the city of San Francisco? I would think we want to eradicate. How about we hire somebody to kill the mice?
Well, no, I don't think you can do that, because what you will be doing with an endangered species, and no matter what you may think.
I can't imagine life on this planet without that mouse. I really can't.
I would tell you that this planet would be a sorry place if we didn't protect all of the species, including this mouse. But be advised that it is not about the mouse. It is about whether or not there's a sufficient amount of resources.
Is that a pet project?
Available.
Is that an earmark, or did Barack Obama?
No, it's not an earmark. It's not an earmark. The stimulus bill supposedly is devoid of earmarks.
You believe
but you can't get over the fact that you had to identify some things that can be done, and they must be done immediately.
Yeah, I know, $1.3 trillion, Congresswoman.
Well, and you're right, Sean. I would consider that an earmark, just as I would consider the $9 billion for the LA to Las Vegas high-speed rail an earmark, probably the largest earmark in history. And you can go in there and look at other things. There's all sorts of special money and set-asides for specific industries. And this is not a stimulus bill, it is a spending bill. It is going to run our deficit for the year up to about $3 trillion by the time you add the interest, and we're already at a $10.7 trillion debt.
Jim, let me ask you this, because you played in Buffalo for how many years?
11.
4 Super Bowls. All right. You grew up in Pittsburgh?
Yep.
All right, so you were probably a happy camper with the Super Bowl results.
Was.
All right, that was one of the greatest games ever.
It was awesome.
That was an awesome game. You know, I'm thinking, I know the people of Buffalo. I know, I used to have relatives up there, and I know the people in Pittsburgh. I've been there many times. And I wondered if they're agreeing with the mayor of San Francisco that $30 million to save a mouse is just symptomatic of a $1.3 trillion bill that's going to, you know, put debt on our kids.
And I'm sure it's not all up to Mayor Brown with that answer, but I see the $45 million they took out of stimulus package for universal newborn screening is what I'm trying to go for. And I know I've talked to these two earlier about what we're trying to focus on with universal newborn screening.
You lost your son after 8.5 years, and we're going to talk about that next, but you might as well bring it up now. So,
no, yes, to make a long story short, because it really is. Yeah. And I'm very passionate about this because my son was born right after I retired from the Buffalo Bills in the NFL, and 2 weeks later on Valentine's Day, which is my birthday, my son was born, and I dreamt what every daddy dreams about, going out in the backyard, tossing a football, and doing all the great things that fathers and sons do. But unfortunately, he was diagnosed with fatal disease. But the thing is, he was diagnosed at 4 months of age. His first 4 months, we had no clue what was wrong with him. The state of New York was only testing for 11 diseases. And we found out all this after, you know, he became ill and after he went through all these things. We found out that every state in this country is different on the amount of disease they test for. State of New York, which we all think should be at the forefront, they were at 11 diseases. Kansas, I think, was at 4. Pennsylvania, 9. I mean, maybe I have them backwards. But then you look across, 51 California testing.
I'm going to be honest. I'm listening to you, and I'm thinking, all right, I could see that being part of a stimulus bill. I like scientific research because it's going to make the human life and experience better. I also believe we ought to bring in the free market system so that we create the incentive for companies to go out there and also help develop the cures. But as I look through this bill, $600 million for sexually transmitted diseases research, why, Mr. Mayor, do I think, well, there's a way to prevent a sexually transmitted disease. Don't have sex with strangers. Am I living in a world that doesn't exist anymore?
Well, Sean, let me.
You're enjoying that, aren't you?
Let me defend that one.
Yeah, okay.
I want to defend that one because, you see, the reality is most people will not follow your direction. You will, I will, everybody else on this panel.
I'm sure.
All of you folk out there will. In view of that, we are put at risk by the behavior of other people.
Not if you're not sleeping with them, you're not.
Well, but you don't. It's not limited to just whom you sleep with. There are a whole series of other things that follow because, you see, we end up supporting whatever diseases are caused by their conduct through our taxes.
But we're moving. This is America, you know, the United Socialist Bill of 2009. This is America cradle to grave, womb to the tomb, the nanny state. Is there anything that you say you don't draw a line on in America and government's role's got to end?
This is a package which is designed to stop the slide into a terrible depression.